Really? That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Can I get 10 more minutes? Because I have a few
Yeah,
more
no,
questions left. So,
sure. Knock them out.
because how do you feel about all these anti-Asian hate that some of your fellow Asian Americans experiencing right now in your homeland? Given the
Yeah.
situation right now, the pandemic. So, do you
You
feel,
know,
as an Asian American yourself?
you know, I can't explain it, to be quite honest. The United States, the world has really gone through a lot with the pandemic. People are in their fields, as they like to say. There's a lot of mental illness that's happening because people are in lockdown and they're afraid. And it's not an excuse at all for any kind of hate crime whatsoever. I'm incredibly fortunate to be born and raised and live in a town which is predominantly Asian American. So we don't see a lot of that sort of horribleness here where I live right now. But I do have friends on the mainland who are witnessing it and seeing it in places like San Francisco, which is a predominantly Asian community. So it
Yes.
it really is mind-boggling and baffling. But it's just, I think it is a direct sort of result of the pandemic and of a prior administration here in the United States that
Um,
sort of gave people permission
Instigated.
to
Uh,
be their worst selves. And I think that unfortunately, it's kind of like you have to run through that in order to get through to the other side. But Asian Americans have been here for many, many years. We're not going anywhere. It's our home. We're not from somewhere else. We were born and raised here. This is our America, and people will just get over it. They'll have to get over it because Asian Americans built this country literally on their
mhm.
backs, built the railroads, like blew themselves up to make those things happen. So we're a part of the history of the United States, and people are just going to have to get used to it. And it's sad that it's this far along in our history and they still haven't kind of rectified themselves to that is a little upsetting. But you know we're
I'm
not
curious
we're
to,
not doing that well. The United States is really,
yes,
we need a timeout. We really do kind of need a timeout.
how, listening to your answer, how do you reconcile the fact that you said earlier that, because of the previous administration, this is why this is happening? How do you feel that your former boss has something to do with it propagating the
Mind
hate?
boggling. I mean, look, it was mind boggling that he won, to be quite honest. We were not fans of each other. That is recorded history. He wrote about it in his book. Like, he didn't think I should win, and that's fine. Like, whatever.
Ouch.
I met him several times during my year. It was never that pleasant. It was sort of like, on the surface, sort of whatever. But he was always like, I forgot how good looking you were. Like,
Ah,
I don't remember you being this pretty, things like that. Like, just socially, not the most Rico Suave person on the planet. But I was shocked when he won and then mortified as the years went on. But you know, we've learned a lot of lessons. The world has learned a lot of lessons, and hopefully, the United States learned a lot of lessons. And we're just sort of trying to right the ship. So, you live and learn. Like, it's just part and parcel to all of it. So,
yeah. So, um, now that you're talking about it, what's your let's talk because there are a lot of questions here about you judging Miss Universe and
yeah,
Miss USA. Oh, did you get to judge Miss Universe?
never had
Miss
the chance.
USA, I know twice, right? So
Twice. Yeah,
how? Because I remember you were also a commentator back in 2002,
yeah. I did it a couple times.
and during that time, the winner got dethroned. And as I
Well,
was listening to you,
Oksana. Yeah.
yeah, as I was listening to you talk about, your indifference for your former boss and how this woman Osana got also dethroned for the same reason.
Mm.
I want to ask, what was your impression of Oksana back then? Did you think she deserved to get dethroned?
Um, there's a lot of different stories, honestly, that have been sort of like out there as far as rumors are concerned, about how she got dethroned, why she was dethroned. And I'll go on record as saying what I know from behind the scenes. And, I stand by what I know. I know it was sort of a mutual sort of situation. She was not happy doing what she was doing as Miss Universe. She was very homesick. She had a very sick mom back in Russia. And so she didn't really know what she was getting into. And so she wasn't exactly like doing the best job that she could. And the pageant, and she and the pageant came to an agreement where they were just like, maybe this isn't going to work out for you, and maybe this is something you don't want to do. And so, that was kind of what it was. It really wasn't as acrimonious as people think. She wasn't yanked from the title. It was sort of a mutual sort of, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I came here to run in the pageant. I didn't think I was going to win. And now I'm here and my mom's back in Russia and I've got all these other things going on. Like, I don't think I'm cut out. This is not what I want to do. That's what I had heard and learned from. And so, when Justine became Miss Universe, she embraced it with the full breadth and depth that she could. She was an ambassador for pediatric AIDS. She did wonderful things in Panama. She's a very good personal friend of mine. And she really took it and in stride and became one of the best Miss Universes I think we've ever had in recent history, because it was a difficult situation to be in. It was a difficult way to become Miss Universe, but just did it with such grace and a plume that she just sort of went through her year and made the most of it. And I'm incredibly proud of her that she was able to do that, because she does take a lot of hits sometimes. People are like, oh, you didn't really win, or, blah, 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 blah. She is Miss Universe. The history books will show. Oksana is the one who was crowned, but the girl who did the year and put the title together and did the miles was Justine. She wears the battle scars that I wear and every other Miss Universe. She put the miles in. She wore down the heels and she got the thing on her head like the rest of us. So she's part of the family. Oksana is as well. If you become a Miss Universe and then you leave or what have you, you're always a Miss Universe. It's a very rare club to be able to be a part of. So, once a Miss Universe,
Yes.
always a Miss Universe.
So do you think pageants like Miss Universe are still relevant even at this time of the pandemic?
Oh, I think especially during a pandemic, I think everybody needs a Miss Universe. I think everyone needs an escape in their life. You know what I'm saying? So, the beauty of the pageant is what people need to remember is that all of these women from all over the world get together on a stage on one night and prove to the whole planet that people can get along and that you don't have to speak the same language. You don't even have to believe in the same God. You don't even have to eat the same food, but you can exist in the same moment in time and be okay. And that's really something that's important that people need to realize is that, all of these women that get to that point to have the privilege of running for Miss Universe have worked so hard in their countries to get there. Like, I don't have to explain to you how many girls run for Venezuela for the one girl to win. I mean, it is literally Highlander. I mean, the girl who wins is a superhero. Okay. Like, she can shoot lightning bolts out of her eyes and fly through space. I mean, you have to be an incredibly strong individual, especially in South American countries, because hundreds and thousands of girls run at all the preliminary levels to matriculate down to the one winner. You distill that by 80 something of the most magical women on the planet. And that's powerful stuff. These women all go on to run their countries, run banks, run businesses, become astronauts, become pilots, become doctors, become lawyers, become UN ambassadors, and they don't even win Miss Universe. I mean, it is a very, very select group of very elite women that go on to do magnificent things with their lives. And I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to be a part of that academy for sure.
That sisterhood
Yeah,
is
I mean, it is.
amazing.
It is. It is. And let me tell you, here's the thing. They don't really ever get the Miss Universes together, the formers. And so I kind of took it upon myself to try to do it. And I've done it a couple times. Let me tell you something. When you get us all in a room together, it's pretty spectacular, to be quite honest. I mean, to be able to hear the stories from the original Miss Universe, Army Kusela, all the way up to, the most recent, and to be able to connect the dots that we're not crazy. This happened to you in 1964. The same thing happened to me in 1997. I mean, it was liberating and sort of like a massive therapy session, because it's not everybody can identify with what it means to be a Miss Universe. Only a Miss Universe can look at you and be like, yeah, that crown hurts. Yep, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a thing. Yep. So it's amazing. It really is an amazing club to be a part of.
When are you planning to hold another reunion with the formers? I want to go.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe the 70th. I mean, we did it for the 60th. unfortunately, we've lost a couple of our formers. We've lost Chelsea, and we've lost another former Miss USA. So,
Yes.
it's sad, but I'd love to get us all back together again. Before we start losing more, especially of the older Miss Universes. But it is amazing. Like, I'm so proud when I stand in a room and I break bread with these women to hear their stories and like the things that they did and how they've achieved the things that they've done. And for me, especially now that I'm of a certain age, I like talking to them about, so how do you navigate this like last sort of, quarter? Like, what's the hard left turn after you're no longer an ingenue Miss Universe anymore? Like, what are the options that are on the table at this point in time? Like, what are we looking at here? So, it's always fun to sort of like pinpoint yourself between the newbies, we call them, like the brand new ones who just like gave up the title, and those of us who are sort of been on the bench for a while, smoking our cigarettes, going nah,
Hmm.
girl, kind of a thing.
All right. Yeah. Oh, I wish I could be part of the sisterhood. Can you include me in your WhatsApp,
Yeah,
please?
well, honorary. We should have honorary memberships. I mean, I'm
Oh
gonna
my.
talk. I'm gonna talk to Paula. We really should do
Oh my
something for the
God.
70th.
Paula knows me. Paula
We
knows me
should do
personally.
something for the 70th where we at least get some of the farmers together and do just sort of like a, even if it's like a special 70th anniversary, like podcast type of, remember when and your iconic moments and what it was like. And because
Yes.
70 is a big deal. That's a
Yeah.
healthy round number.
Because I think the 70th edition might be held in Costa Rica, if rumors are true.
Well, isn't this
So
the 69th?
this is the 69th,
So the
happening in
70th.
May. The 70th will be held this coming December, according to rumors. There will be two editions
Ah,
this year
that's right.
because the pandemic
That's right.
made
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
made
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
happen. So
So you're
yeah.
hearing rumors of Costa Rica, huh?
Yes, it's all over on social media. The vice
Interesting.
president of the business development head of Miss
Really?
Universe flew
Mm,
to Costa Rica for the hosting.
interesting.
Yeah. And
Good to know.
yeah, so
See, I
but
learned
with
something from you today. Thank you for that information.
yeah, actually, I'm really a Miss Universe fan. So even the tiniest little details, I try to anything that I get to sniff, I'll try to broadcast it on my social media.
So
Oh,
funny.
so Omar, wait, last few questions. I know
Sure.
we're already. Omar Keeps has a question here. You judge Miss USA twice,
Uh,
2015 and
yeah.
2017, right?
Yeah.
So, as a judge, what does Miss Universe organization tell you what they're looking for in a winner? How do you score a candidate?
Um, so when we're briefed, I don't even know if I can tell this stuff. I guess I can. I mean, I'm not sure. Is this proprietary information? I don't know.
Wait,
I didn't sign
the,
anything, but the biggest difference between when I ran and when it is now is that they tell us that they are looking for an overall contestant. They're not looking for us to be like, she needs to nail her final question. They're like, leave all of that beside at the door. We're looking for a strong overall girl that's strong in every category. That is, if she has a bad moment, if she trips and down, don't discount her. If you like her overall and you think she's a strong candidate, you think she'd be good at Miss Universe, and you think she would, be a good contender for Miss Universe, please weigh that into your consideration. But we're looking for an overall candidate, at least at USA, that represents the brand, that speaks to authenticity. Is she someone who is living the life she says she is? When you ask her questions in interview and she says that she's going to be a thoracic surgeon, is she talking about that when she's in her interview? Is her passion where she says it is? Is she an authentic person? Those are the kinds of things that they ask us to look for. Is they want someone who's not looking to win. They're looking for someone who's been living a life, and that life shines through her on stage, and then that the pageant will help her elevate those messages. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for authenticity across the board.
can you spot authenticity even
Oh,
just for a short period of time?
yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, yeah. You can tell. You can tell immediately. Most of the time, when you're reading a bio, you don't think these girls are real. I will tell you straight up. Because I will read Miss Universe bios when I used to do color commentary, and I'd be like, she's studying to be a cosmonaut, but like her minor is microbiology, and she's dating the guy who's in charge of like the polo team. What? You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, this cannot be real. And then you get it, you see her and you talk to her, you're like, yeah, she's real. She literally flies helicopters and is minoring in Russian. And I mean, you're just like blown away by the resume of some of these girls. So yeah, you can tell when they're making it up and when they're not, because when you ask them questions in their interview, when they don't know what you're talking about, you're kind of like, well, it says here that you want to be the first person on Mars, so how are you going to make that happen? And they're like, well, my Twitter following is 31,000, and you're like, I don't
Yes.
think that's going to
No,
get you to
no, doesn't
Mars.
count. Get
But
counted.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you can tell. You can tell
yeah.
what's nerves and what is like they're totally like
The authentic selves.
someone made that bio. Your pageant director made that bio for you, and you have no idea what's happening. Yeah.
So you can spot that. You can spot that from the get go. You have that
Most of
keen
us
eye.
who have been in the pageants can, because we know what it's like. That's the dangerous part of when you're a pageant winner and you judge, is because you have empathy for both sides. You know what it's like to be on the other side of that table. So we actually tend to be a lot easier judge because we know what they're going through. So we're not like coming for them. We're trying to help them be the best that they can be, because we know how hard it is to get to that point and what's riding on it. So we're not as we understand the system, whereas people who have never judged before, they'll just come in and be like, so tell me what's the social makeup of the GDP of Congo? And you're like, why are you
Uh-huh.
asking her that question? Do you know what the GDP of Congo is? Why are you asking her? Kind of thing. So yeah.
All right. So wait. Oh, there's so many questions. I
Ask
gotta
away. I
ask you.
got nothing to do. I got nothing to do.
One of no. Is I think it's almost 8 p.m. over there, and you might probably want to have dinner already. So, wait. What? How did you get to meet Martini Vera? Because I saw your picture with him on your
Oh,
Instagram. So, do you have a fond
funny
memory of
enough,
him?
Martin was raised here. His father was a musician and performed with a local group here that was called the SOS. Oh, Martin, look at him.
Oh,
Boop. That picture was taken right after he and Pops had divorced in 98 or 97 or 98. So
ooh.
we were both sort of going through similar sort of like emotional transitions. We had done a show together then when we were at that dinner. But he was born in it wasn't born here, but he was raised here quite a bit in Hawaii. So we consider him as kind of a local boy here. He comes here a lot, he performs here a lot. And so, I had just given up my title and I was sort of free falling and like, trying to figure out what my next moves were going to be. He and I think Pops, right, was her name, his
Yes,
ex-wife. They
her
had just,
ex-wife.
yeah, they had just broken up and divorced, and that had rocked the Philippines and, pretty much the entire Filipino community, because they were they were the sweethearts of the Philippines, that he was kind of like discombobulated himself as well, and like, what am I going to do? Like, I need to figure out next steps and my kids. And so we kind of bonded over both being in these similar situations of like, what do we do now? Like, what's through the door, what's on the other
Um,
side? So that's kind of how we kind of bonded, and then we just stayed friends through the years. So
oh, he never tried to court you.
no, actually, no, not even a little
No.
bit. Not even a little bit. But he's a great friend and amazing talent. Like, he would send me tickets every time he had shows in LA. I would go and see him perform. I didn't even know, because I'm from Hawaii and I knew he was a big deal in Hawaii. I didn't know to what extent he was of a big deal everywhere else. And to go to these like arenas and watch him fill him up. And then like Brian McKnight walks out on stage and is singing a Filipino song with Martin. I just like blew my mind, because I'd be like,
Oh,
Brian McKnight
really?
sings in Tagalog? Like, what?
Ah,
So, it was
I
it
have
was
what?
funny.
I
It was
have yet
very
to
funny.
watch that. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I haven't seen that yet. Okay. So last three questions. Oh
Sure.
my god, I'm so sad to be ending this interview. Can I talk to you forever? Okay, last few questions, last two questions. almost 25 years after,
Mm,
what is the biggest life lesson you have learned as Miss Universe?
wow, that's a hard one to answer. I guess honestly, it's just to be super grateful for everything that you've been given. You know, my whole life changed in Shreveport, Louisiana when I became Miss USA. I had no idea like what was in store for me, and I was super grateful for the opportunity. And 25 years later to be able to talk to you in a podcast and that people are still even remember that I won this thing is, I'm really grateful that I resonated with people and people remember because it's been so long that there've been so many after me that I'm always kind of shocked and odd that people remember. I mean, people are doing my answer on TikTok. People send me TikToks now where they like lip sync my answer and they like have me
Yeah.
dressed like it blows my mind. It was like 20 something years ago. So, the fact that people today even still like think that that's was awesome, it makes me proud. It really does. It really does.
Oh my God, I have one more question
Yeah.
left, but there's so many questions coming in, and I couldn't not ask. Oh, they want to see your crown again. Okay, take that moment. Oh my
Hey.
God.
Hi. There she
Um,
is. There she is. I would put it on, but I can't fit it over the
the
crown.
headset.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Here,
you know what?
I'll leave it right here.
There's
Well, you could
that's
talk to the crown. You could talk to me and the crown.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How do you like getting how do you like to sit on someone else's head? Like
Oh, there,
oh
there.
my God, is it really made of crystals, diamond,
Uh,
Swarovski?
Keenan Ivory Wayans, when I was on his show, he's a comedian from the United States. He tried it on. Everyone tried it on. Actually, my year, you could probably Google and see how many people have tried on my crown. Everyone wore it at some point because I was like, "Hey, go ahead, try it on." He said to say it's simulated stones. So
Simulated stones.
Louisa says Adam asked her during Miss Universe 98 crown and when black girls stumbled, I think because they running to Wendy, she whispered to Wendy what we saw her. What did she say? She actually didn't say anything. She was just so excited that Wendy won because she was a good friend of Wendy's, that she just lost her mind, and we really literally had to just sort of like block her because she was going to knock her down. So she was just ecstatic that she had won, and it was a cute moment, and it was like so genuine, but we were like, girl, hey, she got to get the crown and walk, so step aside. Hi, Brooke. If you were to answer the same question asked you when you won now, how would you answer it? If I had no rules in my life, how would I answer it now?
Yeah,
I
that
had
was
no
my last
rules.
question actually. If you 25 almost 25 years after, if
Yeah.
there were no rules in your life and you could still be outrageous, would you still eat anything twice in the
Oh
world?
yeah, for sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe I would probably because of the pandemic, I'd say like 4 times instead of two, just for stress eating, capabilities. But oh yeah. I mean, and let me tell you something, my whole year, every time I got on a plane, any flight attendant who had seen that would serve me two of everything.
Oh my
Everywhere I would
God.
go in the hotels, they would like give me two of everything. So, it kind of followed me everywhere I went, it was kind of a thing. So,
Oh my God, lucky husband, lucky family who's with you on all your travels. You get everything served twice. Yeah. So
that's true.
Alfonsi saying, hope you can visit the Philippines for
I
sure.
do too. I have never been. Isn't that weird? I
Yes, did Martin
I have
never invite you to
never
come here?
been to the Philippines. I've passed through Manila on connecting flights on Philippine Air, which is a wonderful airline, by the way. Philippine Air is a wonderful airline. On my way to and from Singapore, I've been in the airport in Manila, but I've never stepped outside of the airport in Manila. I've never had the pleasure of coming to the Philippines. So, yeah.
Oh, there you go. That ends my interview. Oh, I can't believe it.
Oh, thanks, Joshia.
There's so many well wishers of you
Thank
right now.
you.
You are
Noguchi,
one of the
Sanakura. Thanks, you
You're
guys.
one of the best Miss Universe ever. I look up to you. I
Oh,
love you so much, Brooke Just Tolentino. So many.
thank
That's my
you.
favorite Miss Universe crown. Yeah, you are forever a queen, Chris Zulay
Thank you.
Domingo. Crown her again. Yeah, they're demanding. Noguchi is saying, let's do another interview in the near future.
Oh,
Part two, please. You know
part two,
what I'm think.
post the Miss Universe pageant happening on the day that I actually won my pageant in Miami. It's happening on the same actual day. Woo.
Oh, May 16.
Yes.
Oh, maybe they should get you to be part of the show, considering that
Greetings
it's
from
also happening
Sydney.
in
Ozzy,
Miami.
Ozzy, Ozzy. Oi, oi, oi. Marco Zondo. Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy. Bondi, Bondi, Bondi. Yeah, it's
So
actually
great.
happening on the day that I was crowned in Miami. I mean, but they're having it out in Hollywood, Florida, not in actual Miami, but it's in the same state. So
Yes. So would you be willing to fly to Miami just in case they invite you
I
over?
am I am vaccinated, so it would not be a health risk for me to travel.
Oh
Um,
my God.
so but we're a little close to the pageant time. I think if they would have invited me, they would have done it by now. So I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not going to hold my breath, but it is a lovely thought. It is a lovely thought.
All right. No doubt, Miss Brooke. We've
Wait,
learned. We had
I have a question for you now because
what?
quid pro quo. My question is, as a fan, a super fan, if you will, who are you looking at? Um, do you think is going to be your top sort of contenders this year at Miss
So,
Universe?
are you following this year's Miss Universe pageant? Are you
Kind of,
keeping tabs
not
of the
really.
girls
I mean,
competing?
I know who the Miss USA is because I'm contractually
Yeah, yeah.
obligated to know, but uh, I don't know much of the other girls. No.
There are. If you're gonna ask my top six,
Yeah.
the girls that I'm so scared for Miss Philippines right now, you gotta keep eye on her, on these ladies.
But Philippines, you have Philippines in your top because you have to, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Oh,
But
but
we're
these are the
also,
girls. These are the
wait.
girls that are worrying you for your Miss Philippines. You're
Yes.
worried. Okay, got it. Got it.
Now I'm keeping an eye on
Mm.
Peru,
Really? Okay.
Chile.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Peru's name is Jessica, uh, Janik Maceta. And
Uh.
then Chile's name, she's a blonde Latina. She looks
Ooh.
like Demile, the 2017 winner.
Oh, okay.
Or,
Okay.
or a bit, her name is Daniela Nicolas. So
Mm.
Peru, Chile,
Hmm.
Thailand. They're really inching to.
Really?
Why?
No,
What
I'm
kind of
shocked. I'm
reaction?
just shocked because you said it was
Wait,
Latinas.
no, no, no. Just to
But
diversify.
correct me if I'm wrong. Thailand this year, the winner that's representing, she's what we call here Hapa. She's mixed, right?
Yeah, half Thai,
Yeah.
half Canadian.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then who else? Puerto Rico,
Okay.
because
Strong
she's really
contender. Yeah.
smart. She's really
Mm,
smart.
mm.
Because nowadays a girl has to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Really knows how to talk. I swear, it's no longer
Right.
about modeling. It's about a
Right.
girl being a
Right.
spokesperson. And then
Right.
South Africa, they're gonna really defend the crown.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
They're coming for it, huh?
They're really,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, those are five girls. I'm so scared for Miss Philippines right
Interesting.
now.
You don't have USA in there. What's that about?
Well, she's like under the radar for me. She's
Okay.
very beautiful, but I'm not seeing a lot of things from her except for her
Uh,
Fadil photo shoots. I'm not
right.
feeling her. It's
Right.
like, the girl, I'm basing everything that I am seeing on social media.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
right now, she's not exerting so much
Mm,
effort. But I know
mm.
she's Miss USA, so definitely
Right.
she's
Right.
going
Right.
to be
Right.
on top. But right
Whatever. It
now,
didn't happen, but
you gotta feel it on social media
yeah. Yeah.
because in
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
absence of travels, high
Right.
profile events, you gotta
Right.
measure everything what's happening on the girls' social media feed. Make sure that the girls' social media account is well balanced, well
Right.
curated of both
Right.
glam and their
Right.
advocacies.
And
And
none of the Caribbean girls are excited for you
Jamaica,
at all?
Jamaica, Jamaica. She's so
Hmm.
underrated this year. You gotta look up her as well.
Yeah, Jamaica's always sort of like a wild card. You never know, but they
They've
always
been also
yeah.
like Thailand. They've been slowly winning the crown, inching their way to the top. But In terms of Caribbean, I have Jamaica. Jamaica. Curacao is also has a great backstory.
Curacao always has a
Yeah.
strong contender. Yes, always a
Yeah.
strong contender.
So far that's it.
And none of the other Asian countries, Japan, Vietnam, none of those girls have any sort of, they don't, none of those girls
India,
do.
India,
Well,
Nepal,
yeah, India is used to be like,
India.
they used to be like the Venezuela of the Asian, persuasion. So,
But the problem with India right now is that I'm not seeing any growth from her. I don't know if
um,
it's her inaccessibility from doing interviews, but compared to the
mm,
other girls who I have been seeing grow
right.
over the course of months leading up to the competition. Then, in terms of women of color, I see Canada. Canada.
Really?
If you're gonna ask me right now, who between
Yeah.
USA and Canada, I'm leaning more on Canada because um, Canada is very chatty on social media. She really speaks
Really?
her mind on a lot of issues. And nowadays in Miss Universe, the more
Yeah.
you talk,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
more
yeah.
chances of winning, I think.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, because she's very vocal about a lot of issues, about everything that's happening right now in the US, Black Lives Matter,
Right.
Asian hate, and
Right.
all these topics in between. So I'm basing everything from how a girl can
Yeah, I
talk
mean, I
now.
sometimes I sometimes wonder, because the pageant is going to be based in the United States and it's going to be in Florida, and I don't know who they're going to get to judge in the midst of a pandemic. So I wonder if sometimes, like, the final questions and a lot of the thing are going to be geared towards US centric issues like Asian hate crimes
Asian,
and blah
it
blah.
will definitely
No,
come out.
so if you're a contestant and you're watching, these are the kinds of things that you probably should have in the back of your head, because going into it that whatever is sort of swirling around and is happening in the world at the time, specifically in the United States, because that's where a lot of the judges might be coming from, you kind of got to have something in your back pocket to be able to speak to. But then I also wonder to myself, will they stack a lot of the competition of the competitors indicative of the Asian American, plight? Will there be more Asians on that stage that night because of that, in direct sort of opposition to that? Is it going to be a factor? Does that highlight them more? Will people be thinking about them more? So will they get through the interviews in a different light? Those kind of things always sort of play into my mind when I think about what's happening. Because I thought, honestly, off the record, even though we're live and what have you,
Yes.
I thought when I went to go and judge the first time, when the whole world fell apart and nobody wanted to judge, nobody wanted to host, I was hoping that
Yes.
those Latina girls were going to come to kill, because I was like, I mean, Olivia Jordan deserved to win. She was the winner. She was the girl that we picked. But we were all hoping that a Latina was going to like step up on that stage and be like, look, you can't talk about my people like that, sir. You can't, you know what I'm saying? We were hoping. I mean, we love Olivia, don't get me wrong. That's not taking
Yes.
anything
Yes.
away from
Yes.
Olivia, but because of what had happened, we thought that those girls were going to come with a little bit more of something to prove because of what had happened to them in that pageant. And they just didn't work out that way. The girls just really didn't close.
I
So,
think my take on that is that the Latinas took a long time for them to be able to adjust
yeah,
to the new requirements of the new owner, which is IMG. Because now
yeah,
they were so used to the Trump era where it's all about basically
right,
fierceness,
right,
catwalking, and showing face on
right.
stage. But with IMG taking over, everything just changed. The girl
Yeah,
has to be really the whole package nowadays.
right,
So,
right.
but to be fair with the Latinas, this
Mm,
year they have all
mm.
stepped up.
Oh, I'm
They
sure.
have all stepped up, not just in
I'm
terms of
sure.
beauty, but in terms
Right,
of intellect and
right,
being smart. Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know. It's either because you know what nowadays,
Mm.
let's face it, the girl will only be reigning for 6 months.
Yeah,
And
that's
she'll
the
be
sort of
she'll be
downside of
only
it.
she'll be only holed up in the apartment in the New York apartment for 6 months doing doing
Right,
nothing. So she'll be
right,
doing a lot of Zoom calls. So right, Zoom calls, interviews online. So if that is going to be what the winner will be doing,
right.
how will you assess the girl? How will you pick the right girl for this year? And then
Right.
I realized, I think this year they will pick someone who looks good, who looks beautiful. Because
Hmm.
let's face it, being beautiful on screen
Right.
is really, as like what you said,
Right.
but not just being beautiful, but has the ability to sell,
Yeah. True.
to bring more money for the
I
organization. She has to be commercial enough
I
to be
forgot that
able.
she has sort of a truncated year because of the whole pandemic situation. It's sort of unfortunate that she doesn't get to, enjoy a full calendar year of being Miss
Yes,
Universe.
yes,
But look, being Miss Universe, whether you're it for a month like Oksana, or
yes.
you're
It's still
it
the
for
title.
a year and a half, like, like our reigning Miss Universe was lucky enough, or whatever, to be longer than the Miss Universes have ever been. You're still Miss Universe. It doesn't matter how long, you've been in the job, you're Miss Universe. So I wish her the best of luck for all of it. It's a tough time. It's really a really weird time to be
I
running in a pageant
know.
and to win, but it all happens for a reason, and whoever's going to win the title will deserve it for sure, because they're traveling from all over the world to Florida in the middle of the craziest time in
Yes.
recent history to put their best foot forward. So I wish them all the
Literally,
best. Yeah. Yeah.
literally. You know why I said literally? Literally the best put forward, because some girls here have just reported they will be bringing more than 100 outfits
Wow.
within
Well,
just 10
look,
days of the pageant. I
look,
mean,
they've all been in lockdown for a year, so everyone wants to dress up and look nice no matter what. So, to go
but
outside and like be around other people, of course they're going to want to dress up every 5 minutes. But I mean, look, my final thing about all of this is for Paula Shugart, like, you guys have no idea. You have no idea how hard she has worked to bring this pageant in Florida and to make it happen. She is tirelessly, day in and day out. I have texted with her a couple times to give these girls the best possible experience that she could possibly give them, given you know the crazy world that we are in right now. She's worked endlessly and tirelessly to make sure that the girls get a great experience, that the pageant is seen in the most platforms possible, and that the girl gets a quality experience when she wins, even though it's not for the whole year, that she will still have the full breadth and support of the IMG machine post, being Miss Universe, and that she will be treated as such, even though she didn't get a full year. So, it's difficult, and Paula deserves all the praise and more,
yes.
because she cares so much about the brand, and to give these girls an opportunity, because people were like, just skip a year, just
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
knee. And she's like,
yeah.
no, all of these women have worked so hard. They deserve the opportunity to be able to represent their countries, whether it's for 6 minutes or 6 hours or 6 months. They deserve that moment to prove to themselves in the world who's going to be the next Miss Universe. And if you guys don't want to film it, fine, I'll find somebody else that does. I mean, she's not didn't give up. When she heard a no, she went somewhere else, and she has worked her tail off to make sure that this pageant gets the same respect and these girls get the same experience that any other Miss Universe experience has had in years prior. So the 69th Miss Universe is going to be like any other Miss Universe, maybe a little bit more truncated because of the times that we're in, but still to the best of her abilities. So God bless her, really, for doing that for
Yes.
everyone.
Yes, I really appreciate. How do you feel that a woman like her is really taking charge, leading the organization? Does it
Well,
help?
you had actually, I told the story while your internet had fallen out. I take full responsibility, and Paula knows this as a fact, which is probably why I'm a little bit closer to the heart at that organization than most. Paula Shugart worked for Hawaii when I brought the pageant here, so she wasn't working for Miss Universe yet. She was the person that helped do all of the local stuff here to bring the pageant to Hawaii. She worked for a gentleman who was in charge of interfacing between Miss Universe and the state of Hawaii. And so she helped put the pageant together from Hawaii side. And then she saw what the world was like in Miss Universe. She met her husband, who worked for Miss Universe at the time, Carl Allison, who was our accountant at Miss Universe.
Oh,
And so after my year, after the success of Miss Universe being here in 1998, she applied for the job to become the CEO a couple years later. So I'm kind of the reason why she's the president of the Miss Universe organization. I don't win. If Morena Bencoma wins in Miami in 97 in an alternate universe, Paula Shugart probably doesn't become the president of the pageant because it doesn't come to Hawaii in 98. So I take full credit
Oh
for
my
Paula
God.
Shugart. For Paula Shugart not only becoming president of the Miss Universe organization, but
But
meeting the
meeting
love
the
of
love
her
of
life,
her life. Oh my
Carl
God.
Allison, who was a good friend of mine, still is, who they met in Hawaii, started dating shortly after, and like now she has this whole like new life because of me. That's just sort of how it goes. So
Oh, all the more that you gotta have a special role on the 70th edition.
Brook Lee, the gift that keeps on giving, guys.
Yes, the
I bring
matchmaker.
I bring crowns. I bring matchmaking. It's just part of the package.
You're all you're a well-rounded person, no doubt. Omar is saying you're giving me the alchemist vibes, Brooke. You might be the
No.
next president of Miss Universe after Paula. Yes,
I
yes,
don't know
yes.
about that. No, I don't know about that.
Mm,
But
I think Paula will tell you, okay, Brooke, I'm so tired. I want to retire.
she's doing an
I
amazing
want you to
job.
take over. I want you to take over.
She
I know
has
you have the
helmed
same passion.
she's helmed this pageant through so many different iterations. Like I give her so much credit because it's not been
Yes.
easy. And the majority of it under a boss that was not the easiest person to work for, let us all be clear. So she really is a saint, a complete and utter mensch, this woman. Yeah.
I hope I get to interview her as well. I mean, I've
I'm
been
sure at some
trying.
point. I wouldn't try anytime soon because I'm sure after the pageant's over in May,
For sure they're busy, right?
she's gonna
Yeah.
need like to decompress for like probably a month. But yeah, she's worked really, really hard,
She
really
really
hard.
has worked tirelessly, even if no matter how many fans have been saying, "Oh my God, she just changed Miss Universe to a different level." It's it's really losing all the glam. It no longer has the glam and the glitz that it used to have during the Trump era. It's all about being the best declaimer or public speaker on stage. But it's still Miss Universe. I will still
And
support
but
the
look,
pageant system,
I
regardless of
was
the changes.
I was part of the system before she came on it, and I will tell you it's a better pageant now. And not to disrespect my years in the 90s, but she really cares about the girl. And I'm not saying that they didn't care about us, but it was a business back then. And when you gave up your title, it was on to the next girl. And, you packed your stuff up and you got kicked to the curb and you moved on. Paula has consistently kept relationships with every former Miss Universe. She made sure that when the girl left the pageant, you can ask Pia this, you can ask any of the formers that are under her tutelage. She made sure they landed somewhere great, that they had an opportunity to do things post pageant. She was about the girl and she still is about the girl. And that to me says a lot as a former that, fell to space and then moved on and another girl came into my place. She makes these girls feel like they were the one and only, and they are. And we should all be able to feel that way. And I'm really proud of the fact that she's of that sort of personality, that she makes sure that these girls realize that you didn't just serve a year and you didn't just take somebody's place. You're an individual, you're special, you brought something to the table, and I'm going to make sure that when we release you back to the world that it has a place for you. That's huge because that didn't happen for me. It didn't happen for a lot of us. We had to figure it out for ourselves. So it may have changed for a lot of the fans, but for those of us that have been in the system, it's a better system because it treats the girls with so much more dignity than it used to. And the girls carry on afterwards and land in such wonderful positions. And it's all because Paula makes sure that that happens for them. Ian,
Brooke for U.S. President
stop. You guys,
20
you guys,
when
you guys are just
2024.
memorized. You guys are mesmerized by the crown. That's just what it's about. That's really what it's about. The shiny things.
Wilson, last final note, Wilson Castro says, wow, Brooke's narrative is very consistent with what Pia shared about her experience with Paula.
Yeah, and I didn't even have the privilege of being one of her girls, but I've watched all of them go through the system and come out the other side better. And I don't know if I could say that about me when I got out of the system. It took me a really kind of a long time to find my footing post Miss Universe, as it did a lot. When I sat with those formers around a table, they assured me that I wasn't crazy, that it does get a little crazy afterwards, and you do kind of lose yourself and you have to figure it out. Paula really helps these women make that sort of turn out the gate and makes sure that you're okay and that you land somewhere and that you kind of figure it out. So I'm grateful to her for that, because it was hard for a lot of us to kind of figure out, who do we become now? We're not Miss Universe anymore. What do we do? Who do we become? How do we find our way? And she helps, that transition. And so we're the past former of us are grateful to her for that, because it makes it a lot easier for the girls.
Oh my God. No
So we'll have to
words,
do
no
this
doubt.
again. We'll have to do this
Oh
again
my God, are you
post Miss
sure?
Universe pageant. Yes, and then you can like break it all down and give everybody your thoughts. When he's a psychic, he picked the winner. Like, you never know. You just never know.
I just feel like I feel like, more than with what you said. I think the girl has to bring a lot to the table. The girl
Yeah.
has to be more aspirational, especially at this time of the pandemic.
I just hope that the fans remember when they watch the pageant that these girls have waited a long time to get there, and that there are some broken hearts along the way, because some countries are not going to let their girls come, because that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And in a pandemic, there are just certain laws that are followed and certain like criteria. Some countries just aren't going to be able to come this year, and that breaks a lot of girls' hearts. So I just hope the fans are kind, because it took a lot. When those girls get on that stage in Hollywood, Florida, it took a lot to get there. They waited a very long time, and it was through a wing and a prayer that they were able to pull it off, and that they all deserve all the kudos that night, because to be able to pull it off in the middle of a pandemic, coming from every corner of the planet while we're still battling COVID, is a huge, huge accomplishment on all their behalfs. So I just hope the fans remember that and be kind, because
And be
we
grateful.
all, yeah, we want who we want to win, but whoever ends up winning is deserved. They all are deserved of it, because they've all worked incredibly hard through difficult times that none of us formers have ever had to imagine. So whoever shines the most that night and rises to the top, it's meant to be what it's going to be. And we're just going to welcome her with open arms, because to get to that point it was hell and heartache to get there in the middle of a pandemic. They've waited so long to be able to compete. So I think it's going to be fire, to be quite honest. These girls have really been sort of held back for so long. I think they're just all going to leave it on the floor. Like, there's literally going to be blood on the floor that night. Girls are going to come. They're going to come like they've never come to the stage before, because they have been waiting, with
Waiting,
bated breath.
preparing,
And so when they
training.
get unleashed, I mean, it's going to be some next level, like set yourself on fire. You've never seen this kind of competition in your life, kind of thing. So don't miss it. Wherever it ends up and however you're able to stream it, do not miss it. I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. Fire.
Yes. And on that note, oh my God, I can't believe we ended up chatting for 2 hours.
2 hours
Oh my God. Yeah.
with the pageant, with the crown.
Yeah, just by
Hmm.
talking about your experience, your life experiences and journey as Miss Universe. Destiny is destiny. That's really good, Brooke. So
I hope
yeah.
it wasn't boring, and I hope I didn't keep you too long.
No, we learned a lot. It was worth that. It was worth the time. Seriously, we learned so much from your experiences, especially your revelations about your former boss and all the other people involved during your reign. So, hope she gets to visit the Philippines. She'll
Thank
be a
you,
huge
Park.
hit
Thank you,
to the fans,
Parkman.
or maybe
I'm gonna
judge
work.
Miss Universe Philippines next year or this year.
Maybe,
Park, there
maybe, never
Yeah, remember
know.
she's vaccinated,
Write
so
write into your people in charge of the pageants and tell them to bring me in. I am vaccinated and I'm very close. Hawaii is right around the corner. Love you too, Jess. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And the crown appreciates it as well. So thank you so much.
oh my god. Oh my god. I really love that
Yeah.
crown.
Miss USA,
Oh my
Miss
god.
Universe, Miss
I
USA.
wonder what's the value now. What's the value of those two crowns if you will decide to sell it?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, everyone's into these whole NFT things nowadays and the whole originality of like original things that you can't get anywhere else anymore. So they don't make these anymore. So, who
Yeah.
knows? Never know.
So are you serious that we should do a part two of this after Miss
Yeah,
Universe?
let's do it. Let's do it. Thank
Okay.
you, Kim.
All right, sure.
Salamat po, Joshia. Salamat po.
Let's
Salamat
do it
po.
the Sunday. Let's do it the weekend after Miss Universe. So May 23. That's actually the next Miss Universe is happening right around my birthday. So if you're spending it because if it's your crowning anniversary, it also means special to me because my birthday is 4 days after the pageant.
Are you
Like
sure it's happening in December?
that's according to the rumors.
Okay.
Miss Universe, you gotta confirm it with Paula. They're trying to make it 2 editions this year so that they won't be able to skip the calendar year.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
They really have a lot of sponsors, yeah. But
Yes.
everything's not yet sure. So
Right.
according to the rumors on the internet, they're
Mm.
as early as now, Miss Universe organization is planning the next edition at the end of this year.
Wow.
So, but it's still tentative.
Right.
There's no finality about it yet.
Right.
But what's
And you're
fine
saying
for
Costa Rica is what you're hearing is Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, yeah,
Mm.
Costa Rica, as early as now. All right, Miss Brooke, it's already 8
Thank
p.m.
you
over
so
there.
much.
I had fun. Oh my god,
You
this is
guys
such.
are-
You
Thank
just
you
don't
so
know. I was only like 15 years old when you won, and
much.
24
Aw.
years after. Oh my god, dream come true to finally have a chat with you. You never age. I don't know if it's an Asian thing, but you still
It's
don't.
lighting, it's filters, it's a lot. There's a lot happening to
You
make
still
this
look
happen.
ravishing and
Thank
gorgeous
you.
as the day you were crowned Miss
Thank
Universe
you.
24
Thank you.
years ago. All
I
right, Miss
appreciate it.
Brooke.
Well, thank you
Uh,
so much. The crown thanks you as well. And I guess we'll make an appointment to see if we can do this again post Miss Universe in May, and compare notes and see what happens.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay.
So
For
much
sure, a lot
fun.
of people will be interested to hear your thoughts about these girls because from one title holder yourself to another, you might as well, people might see something, you might see something that these fans couldn't see, especially if they're going to crown a very surprise winner. So,
Right.
right. So,
We'll have to see. Well, we
oh my,
don't know. We'll have to see.
oh my God. So, on that note, thank you, Miss Brooke.
Thank
No words
you.
for making this possible, for making this interview possible. Louisa and Omar, thank you so much for
Yes,
trusting
thank you,
in me
Omar.
for
Thank
doing
you,
this interview.
Luisa.
So,
Mahalo. Salamat po.
see you next time. How do you say goodbye in wait, before we end, once I click the end broadcast, can you stay a little bit
Sure.
so we can take a picture together
Sure.
off the stage? I mean, off after our live session. So on that note, thank you so much, Miss Brooke. No words.
Thank
We're so excited to
you.
have a sequel of this. So next month, thank you so much. You were so generous with everything that you have shared to us. God bless you and
Thank
stay safe.
you. Stay safe,
Okay.
everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Virtual hugs and
Bye.
kisses all the way from Manila, Philippines.